Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome once again to the adventurous Von Manor. And it's another Halls of Adventure today. Halls of Adventure. What came into the manor this week? What magically appeared in the manor this week? We'll find out. I know one thing that didn't appear in the manor this week, and that's any comic books at all. What's going on? No comics this week at all? Roger, my pal Roger over there, he's in charge of purchasing. I don't buy too much because I have such self-restraint. Roger, however, he'll just buy any damn thing except comics, apparently. No comics this week. But some other stuff did get into the manor this week, so let's see what arrived here at the manor. So, first thing that arrived at the manor is a classic of horror from 1977, back when I was 6 years old. I never read this book before. And this is Martin Cruz Smith's Nightwing. Nightwing by Martin Cruz Smith. Now this isn't Nightwing from the comic books. You know, Dick Grayson, formerly Batman's partner Robin, who grew up and became Nightwing. No, that's a different thing entirely. This is just a horror novel by Martin Cruz Smith, which I suspect has something to do with bats. I hear this is a good book. It has a good reputation, which is probably one of the reasons why it has been issued in this new trade paperback edition. Nightwing by Martin Cruz Smith. So that's awesome. I look forward to reading this. I don't know when I'll get a chance to read it, but I'll read this, definitely. Nightwing. Nightwing by Martin Cruz Smith. That's a good way to start off our Hall of Adventure today with this cool book. And that was horror, and the next thing is also horror. What other horrifying thing came into the manor this week? Well, we got something from our old pal, Eric LaRocca. Eric LaRocca wrote another super short book, which is probably why he pumps them out so quick, is because they're all super short. And this one is We Can Never Leave This Place. We can never leave this place. We can never leave it. He's really good with title, LaRocca is. We Can Never Leave This Place. Now, does this book live up to its cool title? Usually his books do. There was one a couple books back that wasn't so hot, but that's just my opinion. But I don't know about this one. Cool cover. Cool title. He can write some good books, so we'll see. This tiny little book by Eric LaRocca found its way to the manor. So I still haven't read his last book, so I'm behind on my LaRocca. They're so short, I should just read them back to back. So yeah, We Can Never Leave This Place, Eric LaRocca. Now the next one is also creepy, but it's classy. It's classy creepy. Now I thought I had this book. This is one of the books, there are a couple books like this week, where I thought I had it. I went to look for it. It wasn't there. I'm not sure if the mysterious Phantom of the Library, the Phantom of the Library who stalks the dark halls of stately Von Manor and steals books. I don't know if the Phantom of the Library is responsible or if I just never had a copy of this. But it's the Penguin Classics edition of Henry James' The Turn of the Screw, which of course I've read. But I think I read a Bantam edition, and that was a long, long, long time ago. I mean, more than 20 years ago. Well over 20 years, probably 30 years ago. So I got this. And it has some creepy kids on the cover, which is appropriate. So it's the Penguin Classics edition of Henry James' Turn of the Screw, which is super short. It wasn't written by LaRocca. This was written by Henry James. Easy to get those two confused. But yeah, it has a bunch of other material in it. Big long introduction to pad it out. So yeah, Henry James, Turn of the Screw. This next one is pretty cool. So I was watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds a couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And there was an episode of Strange New Worlds. That's a good show, by the way. I mean, it's supposed to be a prequel to the classic original series Star Trek, but there's no way these two shows line up. Just so you know, if you haven't seen the show and you expect it to be like canon, whatever that means, and you expect Strange New Worlds to line up with the original, it doesn't. None of the characters who are the legacy characters in Strange New Worlds would ever turn out to be the characters that you'd see in the original series. It just wouldn't happen. And there's a bunch of stuff that, but okay, so when you watch Strange New Worlds, that Star Trek show, just if you watch it, just realize it's in a different universe than the old Star Trek. Anyway, I digress. So I was watching an episode of that show, and after the show was over, I was thinking, this seems awful familiar. Didn't I read a story that was pretty much exactly like this? It was an Ursula K. Le Guin story, I realized that, but I couldn't remember what the title of the story was. It turns out that the title of the story was The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas by Ursula K. Le Guin. I couldn't remember the title to save my life because I've read that story 100 years ago. And Steve Donahue had to remind me what the title of the story was. But I recognized after I'd watched the episode, this is that story, completely uncredited. They completely ripped it off from Ursula K. Le Guin, the author of that story. I guess she's dead. I guess they felt they could steal from her. So, but it was pretty much that story. And I realized after that I didn't have a collection of her short stories, which really surprised me. And I felt the need to have a collection of Ursula K. Le Guin's short stories. So I got this really nice trade paperback, The Unreal and the Real, the selected short stories of Ursula K. Le Guin. And I think she chose these stories, I believe. According to the back, it says Ursula K. Le Guin has collected her iconic short stories into one volume. So it sounds like she chose the stories to go into this volume, which is awesome. A collection of Ursula K. Le Guin's short stories. I'm very happy to have that. And it's long. This thing is over 700 pages long. So there's a lot of stuff in here. It'll take a while to read when I finally get to it, but I can't wait because I love Ursula K. Le Guin's work, and I'm very happy to have this. So this is The Unreal and the Real, the selected short stories of Ursula K. Le Guin. How awesome! That's awesome. I'm happy to have that. Now, this next book, you would expect that I would have this already. And you know what? I'm kind of shocked that I didn't own this already. I do have a digital version of this, which I got cheap. But a digital version of this, it's not as good as having the real thing. This is one of those books you want the real physical copy of. And this is a book everybody else had but me, and this is Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix. Which, of course, you are probably familiar with this book because this book has been out a while and has caused quite the sensation. It has reignited everybody's nostalgia for the horror paperbacks from the 1980s, which is this, the twisted history of 70s and 80s horror fiction. Actually, the Paperbacks from Hell kind of went into the early 90s too, but died shortly thereafter. But yeah, Paperbacks from Hell, and this is an awesome book to have a physical copy of just because of all the glorious covers. Let's go play at the Addams. No, don't go play at the Addams house. Don't go there. Don't do that. But it's fun. There's Carrion Comfort, a book I've been needing to read forever. It's sitting right over there, glaring at me. Read me, it says. And I haven't read it yet. God damn it. But here it is, Carrion Comfort by Dan Simmons. I really need to read that book. And here's an original version of The Girl Next Door. another book I need to read, which I have a copy of, thanks to Juan at Plagued by Visions for sending me that. But yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. There's even Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. So yeah, I was happy to finally get this. Like I said, everybody in the world has this but me. And I was reminded that I needed to get this because I was looking for a paperback from hell in my own collection the other day. And then I realized I don't have it. And you know what? I probably haven't had it since about 1987 or 1988. Because I think I gave it to somebody to read. But I really liked it. It was one of my favorites from that era. So I had to, of course, go and get a copy of it. And that would be this book. This is The Light at the End by John Skipp and Craig Spector. Now, I will be talking about this book very soon, just not on my channel, but I will be talking about it soon. Where? Stay tuned for details. So yeah, The Light at the End by John Skipp and Craig Spector. This is a vampire novel from 1986. And it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed this one. This was a very fun horror novel that is very much of its time, the mid-'80s. I mean, you had your typical horror things going on in it from what I remember. People doing stupid things and making poor decisions and then getting killed, you know. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting, a really fun 1980s paperback from hell, The Light at the End from 1986. So that's pretty cool. So I got that. Now that is most of what I got, but I did get one other thing. I got a ton of books, and I got these influenced once again by the evil CriminOlly and his upcoming event, Garbogast. Oddly enough, it also kind of fits in with June on the Range because it is a Western series that is also kind of a trashy series of books. And that would be several books in the Edge series. The Edge series of books. This is the first volume in this classic series. Number one in a violent new series, Edge. This is The Loner by George G. Gilman, which is the first in a series of 60 paperbacks. I believe this series was 60 books long. Correct me if you know better, but I think it was 60 books. And this is the first in that saga by George G. Gilman, who was a British writer of trashy Western books. And this is the first in this trashy series. But CriminOlly has been reading these books, and he gives them very good reviews. He likes the series quite a bit. So I was curious, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get some of those books. Now, there were, like I said, 60 of them. I have 40 of them now, which I got this week. I have more on order. All the ones that I am missing from this series, I've ordered. Let's read a little bit about what this series is. This is the first book in a new Western series, but it's more than just another novel of the American West. This is the bloodiest and most violent story that has ever erupted from our native territory. Here is mean, bone-chilling, raw stuff. A compelling tale you'll never forget. This is from our native territory, which George D. Gilman is not from. He's, like I said, British. But he writes this violent and raw stuff about our America, which has not gotten any less violent, by the way, since this took place, The Edge, The Loner. So I've got a bunch of these. I won't show them all, but I've got so many. This is Apache Death. I'm missing number 2, so I just ordered that. This is back when he was in the Union Army. This is Killer's Breed. I've got Red River. I'm missing number 5. I ordered that as well. What is this one? This is California Kill, which is, you know, a good title for a book. You've got Blood Summer. It's Blood Summer. Yay, it's Blood Summer. What else do we have here? We've got Edge about to strangle somebody with some wire in Death's Bounty. This is Death's Bounty. I guess he ran out of bullets. He's got to strangle somebody with some wire. In this book, he's got his bullets back. This is The Hated. The Hated! His hair is very fancy in this one, though. Look at his fancy hair. Good job on your hair, dude. And then, of course, there's Tiger's Gold. There's the tiger. I guess the tiger has some gold. I really don't know what that's about, Tiger's Gold. It's about a tiger's gold. Here's Paradise Loses. Paradise Loses. There's Edge there. And Paradise Loses. What else do we have here? We've got Vengeance Valley. Vengeance Valley! Here he is, cradling his rifle there. Here we have the Tombstones to Texas. The Tombstones to Texas. Look how badass he looks. Yeah, Edge. There's so much edge. There's just so much of it. Here is Ashes and Dust. Ashes and Dust. Ashes and Dust. But you know, I could just keep going on because the edge never stops. There's just so much edge. It just keeps going on and on. Like I said, I got 40 books of edge. That's a pretty good cover. What is this? This is Echoes of War. Echoes of War. Excellent cover. Whoever did the covers on these, which I'll have to check out, did a magnificent job. Look at that. You know, it's good pulpy covers. Look at that. There he is. Vengeance Trail. He's on the Vengeance Trail. I forgot my shirt. Damn it. I hate it when I forgot my shirt and I go on the Vengeance Trail. Here he remembered his shirt. Savage Dawn. In Savage Dawn, he remembered to put his shirt on. What else do I have in here? I have here Death Drive. Death Drive. That's not a drive I want to go on. What else do I have here? We've got Eve of Evil. It's Eve of Evil. How long did it take you to come up with that title? Seriously. That's a good title. What else do we have here? We've got The Living, the Dying, and the Dead. The Living, the Dying, and the Dead. That's actually a pretty good one. I like that title. It's better than Towering Nightmare. Towering Nightmare comes next. He's in a Towering Nightmare, this guy. He's one of the guilty ones also. He's guilty. He's one of the guilty ones. By this time, it's a best-selling series, by the way. This is book 32. This is The Frightened Gun. It's The Frightened Gun! It's frightened. It's The Frightened Gun. Then we have Red Fury. Red Fury. It's Red Fury right there. Oh my goodness, so much of these. We've got A Ride in the Sun. I said I wasn't going to show you all of them. I'm showing you all of them. What's wrong with me? Here's Death Duel. There's Death Duel. Then we've got Town on Trial. Town on Trial. The whole town is on trial there. Then we've got Vengeance at Ventura. Vengeance at Ventura. Don't go to Ventura. There's a lot of vengeance there, I hear. Here we have Massacre Mission. Massacre Mission. His mission is to massacre. It is the most violent Western series, just so you know. What do we have now? We have The Prisoners. This prisoner forgot his shirt, and he's got a really dumb hat. So, a prisoner with no shirt and a dumb hat. Here we've got Montana Melodrama. Montana Melodrama. That's a good title right there. Then we've got The Killing Claim. I've got The Killing Claim with like an angry dog. That dog looks even angrier than Rhonda does. And here is The Bloody Sunrise. Bloody Sunrise. Bloody Sunrise. Then we've got The Blind Side. It's The Blind Side. Yeah, The Blind Side. There's more. House on the Range. House on the Range. That's not a particularly fantastic title, but look at that cover. That cover does kind of make you want to read this book. I would read it. I'm going to read it one of these days. The Godforsaken. The Godforsaken. Yeah. This Godforsaken guy's, you know, he's having a bad day. Don't go up against Edge, man. That's a bad idea. The Moving Cage. It's The Moving Cage. What else do we have? We have The School for Slaughter. If you want to learn how to slaughter folks, you go to The School for Slaughter. That's where you go. And I have one more. So the last one I have is actually number 49. And so I need the 11 books after this, after Revenge Ride. If I ever even get to this. If I ever get this far to Revenge Ride. Damn, that was... See, I said I wasn't going to show you all of those, but I can't help myself. So there you go. That is a bunch of Edge books. You know, more Edge books than anybody probably needs. But, you know, it's not my fault I got all these. Obviously, it's CriminOlly's fault. It's always either CriminOlly or Roger. I think those two are in cahoots. Maybe. Okay, guys. Thanks for stopping by the manor once again. I will catch you next time.